Denmark. This little country sandwiched between the Baltic Sea and the North Sea, with only 6 million inhabitants, sits right on the top of Germany and is a beautiful holiday destination for many people, while also having an incredible coastline of 7,300 kilometers. Welcome to Circumnavigating Denmark, where I'm only allowed to be as much as 10 kilometers, 6 miles away from the coast, while I only have a 24-hour time window to complete this challenge. And I'm doing it with my 213,000 kilometer 20-year-old VW Golf 5 with only 75 horsepower, in which I've already driven to 15 different countries. Enjoy! And with that, welcome to Circumnavigating Denmark, and welcome to the very southwest of Denmark, here at the Grensvægt Huset, which is translated Danish to English, basically Border Patrol House in the very southwest of Denmark. I am here with my first car. It is currently like 6:30 a.m. in the morning. It took me quite a while to get here, but here we are. And yeah, as you might have heard in the intro, today is the day where we actually try and drive all around Denmark. We are circumnavigating Denmark, which is a new project of mine. I want to do something different. And yeah, I think you already know my car, probably, if you are a regular viewer to my channel. And if not, this is my VW Golf 5, 1.4 liter, 75 horsepower in this basic configuration, basically grey on silver on black. And yeah, off you go, onwards. It is very, very, very foggy. You are probably wondering, Sven, and rightfully so, why are you not currently driving to the south of Europe with this car, given I have actually a plan to travel with this car to every single country in the European Union. And as you might have heard already in the last road trip I did with it, which was to Ireland, yeah, I said that I already visited every single country in the European Union in the north of Europe, and the next trip would be down to the south of Europe. Unfortunately, due to time arrangements and time management, I can't do it this year, which is, yeah, really frustrating. But I have still some content planned. Every content piece which I have planned already is basically based in the north of Europe due to time. But I would say, off we go. All right, off we go. Now, I do have picked out quite a few spots along the coast, because as you might have already heard in the intro of this new challenge, I am actually not allowed to be over 10 kilometers away from the water or the coast, which is quite challenging, and was quite challenging to actually, you know, search out the points to do it. But I actually started with Denmark, because Denmark isn't a really big country in the first place. Plus, is relatively local to me. Now, the first checkpoint is like 1 hour 40 minutes away, which is basically, yeah, right alongside the coast. And yeah, as you can see, this is basically in the middle of nowhere. I mean, yes, it's by the sea, but there's basically nobody around. There was just one farm, nothing more. Nobody was around when I filmed, which was, oh my god, that's a horse, okay. As you can see, it's really foggy, and I'm still a bit tired, given I actually haven't slept so much. And yeah, I basically departed home at 3:30 a.m. in order to get here, and I am actually not allowed to drive on any kind of motorway, because, well, first off, every single motorway is basically more than 10 kilometers away from the coast, minimum. And yeah, that's why it is really limited. The roads are really limited when it comes to where I am actually allowed to drive and where not. The first checkpoint is 1 hour 30 minutes away, and I really like, It is a bit frustrating that actually not currently driving down to the south, but I will do it, I promise it, just not this year. Eventually next year, but yeah, I am still excited to get back behind the wheel of this car, because ever since I've driven with this car to Ireland, and ever since I've driven with this car to the Nürburgring, I basically haven't really driven it. Like maybe a few hundred of kilometers, but nothing more. And there were periods between each drive where I haven't driven it like 30 days. So yeah, I am really excited. The sun is going up, which is really quite cool.
Wouldn't lie to you, doesn't matter what I do. She's got a hold on me.
Now I do have to say, Denmark is obviously a very popular holiday destination, and given we are only driving basically at the coast, we are seeing a lot of holiday homes and rental homes, and yeah, which should be really exciting. We are basically driving pretty much all the way through dunes, which is also very exciting. And yeah, I have to say Denmark is really beautiful. Maybe sometimes a bit boring when it comes to like driving cars, which is ironic because, well, this is a car channel obviously. Yeah, a lot of roads are just dead straight. 1 hour 3 minutes still to go, and yeah, onwards. But I do have to say, I mean, this looks just absolutely peaceful, if you ask me. This village looks absolutely peaceful. Now all of a sudden the fog is away, and yeah, you can see right over there the sea, and yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful. Kind of like Germany, to be fair, but it is still very beautiful. And I know I said in the Ireland series beautiful a lot, but I really meant it. It is beautiful as it is. And yeah, you can see all the hay balls here on the right. Nice. Absolutely beautiful. Alright, some 40 minutes later, yeah, we have still 20 minutes to go, and yeah, it's basically just chilling, you know, sitting in traffic. Denmark has actually not so many inhabitants, I think around like 4 million, if that. So there are actually not that many cars around. Well, it's a Monday morning, therefore there are actually, you know, all the people going to work. And yeah, I am actually really quite excited when we get like further up north, because as I said, we are currently on the west coast of Denmark. I really want to explore like the Skagen area, because I think Denmark has just a beautiful landscape. Very flat, to be fair, and it still looks a bit like the north of Germany. You can see right there the sea, and oh my god, it looks absolutely beautiful. And this is actually kind of, you know, a point that I'm currently showing you that I'm that serious when I say that I won't leave, you know, the radius of 5 kilometers around the coast. And yeah, Right, another update. We are now only 5 minutes away from the checkpoint, and yeah, as you can see, it is very, I would say, rural, or you know, it's basically the Danish countryside. and it looks, in my opinion, very beautiful, as I already said 1,000 times before. But yeah, 3.4 kilometers. And as you can see, there are very windmills, and I think right over there, I mean, I don't know if you can see the camera, but there is, I think, the city of Esbjerg. It's now coming on 8 AM, so we have still a lot of time. The day is still very young, but I am already awake for 4.5 hours. This is Vestre, the village of Vestre. Yeah, as you can see, Esbjerg is 8 kilometers this way, but we are actually taking this road right here, the Vestre Strandway, which is convenient because Danish isn't actually that different compared to German, so you can kind of guess a lot of the words, you know, basically from your mother tongue. I can only speak a little bit Danish, but not very much. But you know, I can understand a few things. Oh my god. This is very beautiful. Very beautiful, if you ask me. Yeah, right next to the sea. This is the North Sea. This is also really beautiful. Really beautiful. Right, off we go. It's a very beautiful spot, but we are actually kind of in a little time crunch. That's why we gotta continue. This was just a little, 5-minute break. The next checkpoint is 1 hour and 17 minutes away, which is still obviously on the west coast of Denmark, which is Hvidesand, which translates from Danish to English basically to white sand. And yeah, Hvidesand is also a very beautiful place, only 1 hour and 17 minutes away. We are currently in, I think the village is called Nebel, and it's a very, yeah, I say it again, beautiful city. And as you can see, the people are on the road, which, because it is already 8:50 AM. And yeah, it's a very, I would say, like tiny, either big village or tiny city in Denmark. And yeah, it's on the west coast of Denmark. We are 29 minutes away from Hvidesand, white sand. And given we are in Denmark, and Denmark is actually a neighboring country to Germany, we actually have also quite many German cars around here. Alright, a little bit further down the road, and as you can see, these are the dunes, and right on the other side of the dunes is actually the beach. And we are now only 20 minutes away from Hvidesand. And yeah, I mean, I absolutely love this kind of landscape. It is absolutely beautiful. We are driving right at the dunes, and yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. The car is also holding up quite well, and obviously this isn't like, a trip for the serious driving with my first car to every single country in the European Union, but I'm honestly still quite amazed how good this car is holding up, because it has now 214,000 kilometers on the clock, actually a little bit more. And yeah, it is holding up really quite good. We have still 640 kilometers of range, and yeah, you couldn't tell that this car has driven already to 15 different countries, and yeah, pretty much to every single country in the European Union, which is in the north of Europe. And yeah, the car is driving so good, honestly so good. This car deserves a rest after this trip, honestly. I'm quite open about that, because, well, this isn't you know, it is maybe a short trip in terms of days, because I actually intend to do it in like one day, but the trip is all in all, you know, circumnavigating Denmark around 800 kilometers, which is just absolutely bonkers. And yeah, I mean, we are still on a good way, but as I already said, we are on a time crunch because we need to catch some ferries. And if I miss one ferry, I might not be able to get to all the other ferries, which is, yeah, not very good. I haven't booked any of those ferries. I basically just turn up and, you know, see what's what. But that's why we are basically in a time crunch. But this scenery is very, very beautiful. I mean, just look at this road, which is like basically, you know, meandering, or basically straight lining through these dunes. I mean, yes, it is absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Like, I can't even say anything negative about it, other than that the road is maybe a bit too straight, but who am I to judge? And this car can't drive fast anyway. Now only 11 minutes away from Wiedersande. And yeah, but this isn't the end. We have still a long ways to go. A long ways to go. And as I already said, quite a few ferries to catch, and I might repeat myself a little bit, just that's because I'm actually quite a bit stressed, because, well, I would like to do it in 24 hours, this challenge, because of other time commitments, and yeah, this might be a bit tight. This might be a bit tight. But this is very, very, very beautiful. Alright, welcome to Wiedersande. As already said, a few clips before this one. Wiedersande translates Danish to English, basically white sands, which is typical for this kind of area because the beach has very much white sand, basically the opposite of the black sands in Iceland. There are very many, holiday offices and just all around, shops where people can buy stuff. You have here a very beautiful church, and yeah, it is honestly quite a beautiful place, and it is actually quite peaceful here. White sand, surf and coffee, that's a very, very nice shop. And yes, we are here actually right now in kind of the harbor area as a tour wreck from Switzerland trespass, which was really big. But yeah, Wiedersande. Yeah, Wiedersande is a very beautiful city, and I've looked now, for a little place where we can stay. And look, there are so many ships because Wiedersande is basically a sub-island, I would call it, because there are only two ways in and out of this place. But yeah, maybe we can also do a little bit of car spotting. We have here a Mark II Golf, Mustang Mach-E, which is not really a Mustang, but that's another thing. And yeah, it is actually really quite cool. You know, a lot of boats. It's just cool to drive around here. And yeah, this is kind of a bit of a, let's say, sub-off-road testing for this car, because it is, oh my god, it is bumpy. But you can see the sea right there, right? You know. Ooh. I mean, as you can see, a lot of people are here. But there's the sea, and you can see the white sand, and that's very beautiful. A lot of Germans are here. But yeah, that's one nice place. But I want to do kind of a little photo shoot, I think. That's why I am doing a U-turn and return now back where I came from. But as I already said, I mean, just look at those dunes. Wiedersande is such a beautiful place, and this isn't, you know, an advertisement for Denmark, but if you want to visit Denmark, I would highly recommend it, because I mean, yes, the road is maybe here a bit bumpy, but it's still a very cool place. Whoop. Yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing. And it's 19 degrees Celsius, which is also really nice. Park right here. Alright, let me do a quick photo. Right, photo is now done, and now we actually need to continue to the next location, which is, as I already teased a little bit, a ferry terminal. But you can see, you know, all, you know, around here all these ships, and it smells a lot like fish, which, if you like fish, is actually good. If you don't like fish, it's maybe not so pleasant. But yeah, we have now another hour and 13 minutes to go. We will arrive at 10:40. And yeah, which is actually good, because I thought that I might have a little bit of time crunch, which I still have, just not as much as I thought I would, which is good. But we need to crack on. Alright, a little bit further down the road, we are now in Søndervik, which is a place that I visited a few times before as well. And yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of construction going on, because, well, it is a growing place. It is a quite popular place, which is why, you know, a lot of people can afford to do this kind of work. And yeah, I mean, just look at it. Insane. That's basically a big sand castle. Now, maybe you can see the map, but you know, we are basically like 500 meters away from the beach. And yeah, I mean, it's basically, you know, a good time. The sun is shining, everything is perfect. Honestly, it is really cool. Now you can see some construction vehicles. Right, a little bit further down the road, welcome to Torsminde, also your holiday destination. And overall quite, you know, a sleepy town. Yeah, but it looks really quite beautiful. Again, right next to the sea, just over there is the North Sea. Alright, now we are out of Forsbinde, and well, the national speed limit in Denmark on the countryside roads is 80 kilometers per hour, which is, you know, for the fuel consumption perspective quite good, because, you know, you obviously doesn't burn as much fuel as you would drive now 100 kilometers per hour. But in terms of traveling a good distance, it's actually bad. I mean, the landscape makes up for it. I mean, that's just absolutely beautiful. Just imagine living right there. Just imagine that. It would be absolutely insane. And very, very peaceful. Yes, arguably maybe not as peaceful as somewhere else because that's this road, but it's basically in the middle of nowhere, this house. I mean, can you see it? You know, all these fields. Okay, now I have to turn right, but the countryside of Denmark is, you know, it looks a bit like the north of Germany, but it is nonetheless a very, very, very beautiful countryside. And we are now only 18 minutes away from the ferry, and the ferry takes off every hour, which is good because I can then, you know, chill out for a few minutes before we go then onto the ferry. And look at it! Look at it! It's amazing! It's absolutely amazing, this road. Wow. That's absolutely insane. Look, there are horses. Now it looks a bit, now just this, you know, a little bit like the countryside in the north of Ireland, of the island of Ireland, where I was with this car at the last trip. But I don't know, I mean, it is definitely warmer. I mean, it's 19 degrees Celsius, which is very, very welcoming. But yeah, onwards. I think I will see you at the ferry. Okay, a bit further down the road. I mean, this road is absolutely insane. It's actually more hillier than I would have expected. There's a church, I don't know if you can see it in the distance. But yeah, I have to film it because this road is very fun to drive. And oh my god. It's hard to believe that you can actually drive like 80 kilometers per hour on this road. But hey, it would be theoretically legal to do it. But yeah, this road, I mean, I don't know what it is. Yeah, now you can see the church. Looks beautiful. And there is absolutely no cloud in the sky. Wow. 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 Actually, let me do a quick photo. A quick picture. Just look at the scenery. I mean, that's very beautiful. And that's also really really quite nice. Yeah. Alright. Alright. Welcome to Tiburon. Very, very shortly actually. And this is where I need to take a ferry to, I think it's called Agger. It's just a short ferry hop. I think it's basically like 30 minutes. Nothing major. But yeah, it actually saves a lot of time, because otherwise I would have, you know, if you don't take the ferry, the drive would have been around the bay basically near on 2 hours. But you can see all the wind machines to the right, and that's actually a train. That's quite beautiful as well. Nice. Yeah, cool. Alright, I think I'll see you in the queue for the ferry. Right, we have made it to the ferry terminal, right over there. Alright, we are driving now onto the ferry from Tiburon to Agger. It's a very short ferry ride, like 20 minutes, I just looked it up. And yeah, it costs around 13 euros, which is definitely not bad, because it saves a lot of time, to be quite frank. Right. Perfect. I will see you on the other end. Alright. Here we are on the other side. This was a very, very chill ferry ride. And yeah, welcome to Agger, which is still on the west coast. We are now in the Tisted commune, and as you can see, there are actually quite a lot of, you know, Italian, Swedish people, Germans, of course, and yeah, there are a lot of people. We have now to the next checkpoint 51 minutes to go, and yeah, nice. I mean, I literally cannot stop just looking at this. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. Oh, look right here. It is absolutely beautiful. And I mean, the sun is shining. And yeah. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I just thought about it a little bit. This is actually the first time I am filming a proper video in Denmark, because, for example, in Scandinavia, or yeah, basically in Scandinavia, or when I've driven around the Baltic Sea, I basically skipped Denmark in the first like 1 or 2 minutes of the video, because it isn't really fun driving through Denmark when you are on the motorway, because it is dead straight. It is, well, it looks kind of boring. But this is now absolutely beautiful. I mean, just look, the water is kind of turquoise, and yeah, it is very, very beautiful. And this is kind of, you know, the first proper video I'm shooting in Denmark. Alright, the scenery has changed again. We are now in some kind of a forest. I don't know what it is. I mean, some people think it's actually boring, but I think it's actually really quite relaxing driving through the countryside of Denmark. Now, I have to admit, obviously driving on the motorway in Denmark is very boring, but yeah, I mean, driving through the countryside, you see so much. And even though I visited Denmark like countless times before, I do still see new things which is just, I don't know, absolutely beautiful. And yeah, driving through the countryside of Denmark is, I would even go as far and say it is rewarding, because, you know, it's very relaxing. Nobody's pushing you around like in Germany, on the street, on the road. And yeah, it's just very, very beautiful. The scenery has changed again, and well, we are still kind of in the forest, but do you see all these, you know, purple flowers? Or it's kind of like moss of flowers. I don't know, it looks so beautiful. It looks a bit like a steppe. Yeah, you know, but it's just, yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful. Now I say it now, the countryside in Denmark is way more beautiful than the countryside in the north of Germany where I live. That's 100% for sure. I mean, I know it's just more versatile. It just looks a bit more, you know, it is more colorful. It's very, very beautiful. We are still 19 minutes to go, and then we are at the next checkpoint. Well, we are now again right next to the sea. Quite literally, because there is the sea. The scenery has changed again. We are now not anymore in the forest. We are now back in the dunes. And yeah, even though Denmark is not a very big country by any means, like it's maybe a fifth of the landmass of Germany, but it is still, I mean, it is very, very beautiful. And again, this is no advertisement for you to visit Denmark, but I highly recommend it to you that you visit Denmark, because I mean, just look at it. It's absolutely beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Alright, here we are. Welcome to Hanstholm, which is in the very northwest of Denmark. And yeah, it's also a little bit industrial. It has also a harbor. But we are driving now to a lookout point. And yeah, you can see here still from the Second World War bunker, which is just, yeah, wow. I mean, this looks insane as well. This looks so beautiful. Now, it does look beautiful, but it doesn't look by any means as beautiful as Norway, because of all the countries I visited so far, Norway was by far, I mean, still relatively close to Ireland, but still by far the most beautiful country I've ever visited. But Denmark has, you know, when it comes to coastlines, also, you know, quite beautiful ones. You can see here, you know, it's a lot, you know, it's industrial. You know, there are forks driving around, and yeah, it's kind of a fisher town, industrial town. A lot of workers, but it's nonetheless still a beauty. Oi, what's that? Okay, car spotting begins. That's a Porsche 991.2 Turbo S. Nice. Now you don't actually see that many high-end cars around Denmark, because, well, they have extreme taxes on them, which is why, you know, up to 100% of the value, which is just absolutely insane. And that's why you don't actually see that many supercars around Denmark. And yeah, but you do see a lot of electric vehicles because they have actually some benefits for electric vehicle owner. But yeah, I mean, this looks beautiful as well. Hanstholm Renseanleg. That's very nice. Yeah, this is Hanstholm. Here we are. This is the viewpoint. And yeah, it does indeed look very beautiful. Right, onwards we go to the next checkpoint. Yes, Siri, thank you. Which is 2 hours and 40 minutes away. And it is actually the northernmost point of Denmark because it is Skagen. Yeah, 2 hours 40 is quite a drive, 176 kilometers. And bear in mind, these are 176 kilometers on normal countryside roads and not on the highway. And this is why it is probably like an hour longer than it would normally be. Alright, about 20 minutes later, we are now on the Route 7, which is also known as the Aalborg Way or Aalborg Way, basically. Yes, we have 2 hours 23 minutes to go, and I have still 430 kilometers of range. And this road is actually kind of a bit of a faster road, because this road has actually a speed limit of 90 kilometers per hour, and oh my god, I do get a bit tired. But I want to push through to Skagen because otherwise it might be very, very, very tight with the ferry in Aarhus. But yeah, the Aarhus ferry is basically the most important ferry of the day. Right, some update. I don't know where I am, but I am somewhere still alongside the coast. The coast, like I think like 3 or 5 kilometers this way. But this is, I think this was used mainly before as a military street, kind of, because these are just plates and not really concrete or asphalt. So yeah, I mean the road is very, very rough, and I've just done some math, and well, let's just say it will be very, very, very tight with the ferry. And when I say very tight, I mean very tight. So yeah, we need to get a move on. What's unfortunate, because we still have 1 hour 38 minutes to go, and we are theoretically driving into the wrong direction. But yeah, I am determined. I got this. I will finish this challenge. Definitely. I don't want to, you know, leave the first circumnavigation challenge on this channel at a loss. And I will push through, which is unfortunate because then I can't really stop in Skagen. But yeah, it is what it is. Well, a little bit later, we have now only 49 kilometers, 46 minutes to go. And, well, what should I say? We are right now near Hirtshals. And if you followed me already for a while, and you know, if you're a regular viewer on this channel, you may know that my first ever road trip I filmed for YouTube was the Norway road trip. And Hirtshals is actually the harbor or port where I set off, where I took the fjord line, I think it was, from Hirtshals to Kristiansand. And yeah, it was basically the road trip that kicked it off for me. And yeah, that was, by the way, right after Car Friday 2024. So yeah, that's just a little side note. Well, we still have 44 minutes to go, 48 kilometers, and I think I will see you a little bit further down the road. Alright, we are now only 10 minutes away, well, 11 minutes away, 10 kilometers from the northernmost point of Denmark, which is Skagen, or the Skagerrak. But yeah, you can see the scenery has changed again. It's now basically a two-way road which changes every few kilometers on either side. But yeah, you can see it's basically this, which is really fun, quite honestly. And yeah, I think it's really quite beautiful. And yeah, we will be momentarily in Skagen, at the Skagerrak, the northernmost point of Denmark, which is also quite funny, because the northernmost point in Europe is the North Cap, which this car has visited. The northernmost point of the United Kingdom is John O'Groat, which this car has visited. This car has visited the northernmost point of the island of Ireland, which is Mellon Head. And now in 7.9 kilometer, this car will visit the northernmost point of Denmark, which is the Skagerrak in Skagen, which is, if you think about it, really funny. And yeah, now I have not much time, because I already talked about it, but I need to get to a ferry, and it's still not clear if I get the ferry or not. And if I don't get the ferry, yes, I might be a bit effed. And if I don't get the ferry, I basically have to take a shortcut, because in order to get now the ferry, I need to take the highway, which, as I said, is a bit boring, but it is then still kind of a circumnavigation. But yeah, I need to take the highway, otherwise I won't get the ferry. Otherwise it's even less of a circumnavigation, but it is still either way a circumnavigation, because, well, I've driven all the west coast up from the south to the north in Denmark, and I'm driving the east coast down, so it is basically a circumnavigation. And I absolutely underestimated the sheer length of Denmark, because it's one thing, from Hamburg up to Hirtshals is basically like 5 hours straight, but driving to around the coast, at the coast, takes so much longer. It is insane. And I am now already over 10 hours awake. Oh my god, this looks very very full. Oh, nice. Corvette C6. Oh my god. Talk about tourism, hey? That's insane. Why are there so many people? That's bonkers. That's absolutely bonkers. Wow, wow, wow. That's absolutely insane. There is no parking space. Well, well, well. That's very unfortunate. That's absolutely insane how many people there are. Absolutely insane. Oh, I can park here by the Corvette. Nice. Alright. I will park up right here. And I have to see what I need to do, because, well, we made it to Skagen, and as you can see right here on the maps, we made it to the northernmost point of Denmark. Right here, the northernmost point of Denmark, which is really, really nice. Alright. That's the plan. I am driving now back home. 5.5 hours. And that's the plan. I attempted to circumnavigate Denmark, but I couldn't do it because I started too late. I mean, as you might saw in the last episode, well, I started at 6:30, which was too late. I should have started like at least 1 hour before, because the ferry I wanted to take from Aarhus to Odden in Zealand does take, well, you need to be there 30 minutes before it departs. Well, I don't have these 30 minutes. I would arrive, actually not even when it would depart, I would arrive like 10 minutes past the last available time. And therefore I am defeated. The car has done it basically halfway. We are now right now in Skagen. I think I will, will vlog this way back home right now. And yeah, I mean, it's basically another road trip vlog, but still in a series attempting to circumnavigate Denmark. Now, I really have to say I underestimated the living hell out of it, because it is way more intense. I am now already, quite... Ooh, nice Audi. Quite, done for the day, basically, because I woke up at 4 a.m. and I had like 2 hours of sleep. And yeah, therefore it's defeated. But trust me, I will do it again. I will do it again. I will attempt it again with this car. And yeah, wow, it's absolutely insane. We have right now like a 5.5 hour drive back home, but I still haven't eaten anything today. So I first need to drive into the city of Skagen, where I will then, find some typical Danish Franz hot dogs. But what's the saying? Basically, when you lose, you learn. And this was definitely a big, big learning. And trust me, when I will attempt this the second time, I will do it. I will do it. And I will achieve it. Oh my god. This was still an insane journey. It still is an insane journey, because I'm still 4.5 hours back home. But I can't do it logistically, basically. And therefore, I am defeated. Alright, off we go. Oh my, Now, I am honest, I am a bit pissed at myself because, like, but you know, I already started at 7:30, and in order to get to the spot where it started, because I wanted to start it at the very southwest of Denmark, I had to leave Hamburg extremely early, like at 4 a.m. and it took me 2.5 hours to get there. And yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, now I'm pissed, but it's still a learning. But now I have basically more content because I can do it again at some point, but I won't do it immediately. I need to figure out a better plan, and I need to figure it out, you know, a good plan, because let's be honest, I mean, it would have probably be good if I start like 1 hour earlier, because this 1 hour would have given me the time I needed, or maybe 2 hours earlier, but then it's not like, then it's 4:30 a.m. But yeah, I mean, I need to do it like 1 or 2 hours earlier, and then it would be fine, I think. But even then, it would be even then a very, very, very big time crunch, because the route I set myself contains basically 5 ferry crossings. Now we took already one, and we already missed the second one. So not very good in the slightest, basically. And yeah, gosh, like I'm so pissed at myself, but I am still relieved, because it was really stressful, and I unfortunately had only time today to do it. But my god, but I mean, we still have a lot of kilometers, 5.5 hours, like nearly 600 kilometers back home. But the car held up perfectly. It's a lovely day, 22.5 degrees Celsius. But yeah, I really need to eat like something, because I haven't eaten all day, only one banana this morning at 4. And that was basically it. And I mean, Skagen is a very beautiful city as well. I really have to say it. Skagen is a really beautiful city or town. And I just want to eat something. I mean, there are so many nationalities here, like Brits, Spanish people, Portuguese, Dutch, Belgium. But yes. Oh my god. Let me find a parking space, and then... Can I park here? I think I can park here. What the f is this? Is this private parking? Alright, I just noticed that I need to actually change my parking space. But now you can see this very, very funky Citroen. I have absolutely no idea what this is. But it's a really nice color, kind of a smart green, emerald green. It is actually from France. So it's actually quite a long way away from home. But this is really, really nice. Oh, it's the GS1220. Ah, nice. I saw a Citroen GS, I think, on AutoLX, or was it BX? I don't know. But I mean, this looks really, really nice. Citroen GS, nice. Alright, the mandatory Franz hot dog, a typical Danish food in the typical Danish cuisine is now bought. It is absolutely delicious. I haven't eaten all day, as already said, and yeah, I will eat this now and then we will head back home. The 5.5 hours. Well. Well, I just filled the car up and I have now a 4 hour and 43 minutes back home, which is actually less than I expected, to be quite honest. But hey, pleasant surprise. At least one surprise. It's good today. But yeah, off we go. And yeah, we'll arrive back at home in Hamburg at 8:30, which is okay. So yeah, I think I will, I bought myself now some drinks because I also need to drink. I ate the hot dog, the Franz hot dog, and yeah, and now I am driving back home. I think I will see you somewhere on the road, given I can actually now use the main motorway. Well, some 20 minutes later, and well, you are joining me right now on the Route 597, I think it's called. And yeah, this is basically the one road up and one road down from Skagen. And yeah, 30 kilometers, and then we're still on the Route 597, but shortly after that there will be like a, I would say, pre-highway. It's the E58, I think, and or E35, I don't know, some kind of road, but it's kind of a highway. I mean, there are 2 lanes on either side, so you can actually like overtake and make some time good. Yeah, as I already said, 4 hours 22 minutes to go, and yes, I mean, I am still a bit pissed because, let's be honest, the whole point was, okay, can you actually do it in 24 hours? And I still think that you can circumnavigate Denmark in 24 hours, but you need to start at like 2-3 a.m. or maybe, I mean, at very least like 4 a.m. but not later. Definitely not later, because then you're actually effed with all of the ferries that you need to take in order to really circumnavigate Denmark. And I mean, just this one fail is basically gave me basically a huge learning curve, because I just have to miss one single ferry and then I'm effed. Then is the whole plan just thrashed or trashed. It is everything so tied together to actually fit it in the 24-hour window, and you could theoretically do it, but then you need to start like 2-3 a.m. and I will do it, trust me. Oh nice. Trust me, I will do it. I will do it with this car, just not now. Give it a few months, maybe a year time, but I will do it again. And maybe I will do in the meantime maybe a smaller country like Netherlands or Belgium. I think they are smaller. Maybe I just start like with Luxembourg, but obviously Luxembourg has no coast, so I need to be, maybe I will do it, I can't cross the border, but I need to be always like within like 1 or 2 kilometers off the border to like Germany or France. And yeah, we will see, but this format, circumnavigation, has potential. It really has potential. And yeah, I will use now the remaining 4 hours 18 minutes to kind of brainstorm, to reflect on what I've done basically wrong. But yeah, when you visit Denmark, take like 2, 3, 4 days to explore the entire country. 4 days is basically enough if you are by car, if you travel with a car. And yeah, other than that, 4 hours 50 minutes to go, and I will see you somewhere further down the road. Right, welcome on the E45. No, welcome on the E39 highway, which means I can actually now, let the car breathe a little bit, and we can make up some good time. Even though, I am now a bit more chilled, given, I have no time stress anymore. But I still want to get back home. I mean, the currently arrival time is 20:26. Right, sometime later, we have now only 2 hours and 53 minutes to go, 282 kilometers, and my estimated arrival time is now at 8:15 p.m. So it went down a little bit, and yeah, we are now 55 kilometers away from Aarhus, and yeah, I don't know what I say. I am quite happy. I'm still a bit pissed because, I don't know. But I made my mind up. The next time I will do the challenge, and trust me, I will do the challenge again. I will start at like 3 or 4 a.m. So, it's just dusk. So you can see maybe a little bit of the video. But yeah, that's basically it. I start a lot earlier than today, and then it should be all good. But it was nonetheless a very, very amazing challenge, even though, yes, the challenge defeated me as SOAutomotive 0, challenge 1, 30 minutes later, and right in front of me is a Fisker Ocean. Now, I know that the Fisker company is bankrupt, or well, basically bankrupt. They do still exist, but a Fisker Ocean and the number plate, which is really, really cool. The number plate, because the Danish people can also have custom number plates for their cars, and this Fisker Ocean has as a number plate Ocean, which is so cool. I wish we had that in Germany, or maybe like the same system as in the UK, but yeah, unfortunately we do not have this. But oh my god, that's a really, really fun number plate. Right, update, we have now only just under 2 hours to go, and yeah, it was actually really, really smooth sailing, and I can't complain. The car is great. I am still a bit pissed that it hadn't worked out, but it is what it is. As already said, I plan on the second attempt for the challenge, I try to basically start a bit earlier, just to be prepared. So yeah, so we have a bit more time, but we are nearly in Kolding. We are only 30 kilometers away from Kolding, And yeah, that's basically it. 24 degrees Celsius. The car is running absolutely fine. The car is now 214,700 kilometers on the clock, so nearly 215,000 kilometers. We won't be hitting them today. It will probably happen in the next couple of days, depends on when I drive this car again. Because, I mean, let's be honest, this was basically, when I returned home, a 16-hour driving day. 16 hours, basically non-stop driving with like minimal, you know, rest stops in between of like maximum 5 minutes, if that. And the car runs flawlessly. And I am actually surprised that this challenge was failed because of the reliability of this car, but instead because of my stupidness and, well, just unlucky timing. I guess we can call it that. Right, another update. We are now on the E4, which basically evolves into the A7 in Germany. So this is the last road we need to drive here in Denmark. And then is the failed attempt to circumnavigate Denmark basically complete. And yeah, I don't know what I think of that, but yeah, we have now only like 40-50 kilometers to go until we are in Flensburg, which is the northernmost city in Germany, right at the border to Denmark. And yeah, I guess we have now only like 50-40 kilometers to go, somewhere in that ballpark. And then we are on the A7, and I think I will see you right there, or maybe at the border between Denmark and Germany. Alright, another update, and on a funny note, I've just crossed the 1,000 kilometers. Like literally, it's now 1,001 kilometer. So we've driven in let me think, 13 hours so far. Yeah, 1,000 kilometers, which is really quite extreme. But yeah, we are now only 19 kilometers away. Right, we are now only 1 kilometer away from the border to Germany and Denmark. And yeah, we've driven so far 1,019 kilometers, which is absolutely insane. And yeah, only 600 meters, and then we are in good old Germany, where we have the de-restricted Autobahn, which we always like. But probably at this time of day, it's now 20 past 7 p.m. It is probably a bit, you know, populated, let's say. And here we are back in Germany. Yeah, that's basically it. And we are back in Germany. What? I mean, it was a disappointing trip because I unfortunately haven't completed the task that I wanted to complete, naming the basically, you know, circumnavigating the entirety of the country of Denmark. It hasn't worked out due to bad timing of my side. The car has held up flawlessly, as I mean, case in point, we've driven now over 1,000 kilometers today, just today, which is absolutely insane. And yeah, what can I say? I am a bit pissed that I wasn't really, you know, that my timing was a bit bad, but we will complete it next time. I am very, very, very sure. We got percentage wise, I think, you know, the land we covered was about, like, let's just say 50% of the coastline, about. So, and we took just about 10 hours to get there, which is insane, but we took around like 10 hours, 9 hours, somewhere in that ballpark. And yeah, what should I say? It was an amazing trip. The car held up perfectly. I hope you like this little mini series. It wasn't as big as, for example, you know, a chapter of driving to every single country in the European Union with this car. For example, the island road trip, which was like in total 7 videos. Alright. I hope you enjoyed this little mini series, and I hope I'll see you next one. Alright. Peace.